In 2019, the global number of EVs, including light commercial vehicles, on the road was 7.5 million, and that number is expected to grow to over 100 million EVs by 2030, according to the market research firm SERIESX. This increase will likely create a gap in charging infrastructure that will need to be filled. Exactly how much charging infrastructure will be needed is something that policymakers and various states around the world are trying to figure out. There is simply too much going on globally to cover in one video, so we are going to focus on the United States. And this brings us to an eye-opening study done by the International Council on Clean Transportation that analyzed 100 US metro areas, which represents 75% of the US vehicle market. The council estimates that these areas will need to add 185,000 level 2 and 10,000 level 3 charging stations by 2025 in order to keep up with projected EV sales. This is a 400% increase on current infrastructure, and the council estimates the cost of adding 185,000 level 2 charging stations to be around $940 million over the next 5 years. Electrify America plans to open 800 charging stations by 2022. And of course, we have Tesla, with over 1,800 supercharging stations and over 16,480 volts superchargers and counting in the US. And these figures don't include Tesla's destination chargers as shown on the map on the website. These grey markers you see here are destination chargers. Many of them are hotels. And we also have governments at the state level which are also working on preventing the looming charging gap as well. New York State, for example, is investing $250 million over the next 5 years to build up the state's EV infrastructure. The investment includes charging stations at 40-mile intervals and charging hubs around JFK International Airport. And we have Chicago, the United States' third largest city, that recently passed a bill mandating that at least 20% of parking spots must be ready for EV chargers, including commercial buildings with 30 or more parking spaces. There are many other examples across the country, but now let's look at some incredible alternative EV charging solutions in development or in production around the world. And this takes us to Audi's portable charging system. This system is made of 3 charging containers that houses 4,500 battery cells. It has a whopping 1 MWh storage capacity, a total charging power of 1.2 megawatts. A portable charging system like this is a great alternative solution as you could plot it down on any parking lot. And Tesla has its Megapack portable charging station. The Megapack has an insane 3 megawatt storage capacity and can charge 100 cars. Now, let's look at some EV charging solutions that are a bit further down the horizon. Volkswagen recently unveiled an autonomous charging concept involving robots and energy storage devices called battery wagons. The idea is for robots to bring battery wagons to designated parking spaces prompted by requests via smartphone. And the great thing about this concept is that the installation footprint is minimal, and more importantly, it allows all parking spaces to be EV charging capable. Another cool example of robotic charging comes from the Dutch startup Roxas. Roxas is developing soft robotics technology which allows for fully unmanned charging operations. The company designed a robotic arm that uses computer vision to guide the plug into the charging socket. The arm is also equipped with soft robotic features, allowing it to absorb the shocks that come from people entering and exiting the vehicle. And as vehicles become more and more autonomous, technologies like this will enable vehicles to charge themselves in the future. It's hard to say at this point whether or not charging infrastructure will grow fast enough to keep up with EV adoption. There may be some areas in the country where some of these chargers are underutilized, and there may be other areas in the country where an EV owner has to wait an hour for a charging spot. But between the efforts from governments and automakers, we are heading in the right direction. A direction that leads to a world where owning an EV is just as convenient as owning a petrol vehicle. Thanks for watching. What do you think is the solution to the charging station gap? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe for my future content. I'll see you in the next video.